Welcome back, everyone. So, this is a continuation of our topic or an expository professional discussion on a significant topic in the financials, in financial management, called capital budgeting and investment appraisal. In a nutshell, in today's class, we'll be looking at the discounted cash flow method of investment appraisal. The discounted cash flow method of investment appraisal. So, I'm going to bring us down the lane. And in remembrance of what we have looked at in previous classes, don't forget, we've been able to achieve as our learning outcome, number 1, definition of investment appraisal. Number 2, different categories of investment appraisal which involve DCF method, the non-DCF method. In our previous series also, we've been able to thrash out, to unravel, and to look at the non-DCF method, which involve the IRR, accounting rate of return, where we looked at the formula, the application, the merit, the limitations of accounting rate of return. Also, likewise, in our previous series, we've been able to look at payback period as an investment appraisal techniques, where we look at the definition, the formula, and the merits and demerits of payback period. So, are you there? You've missed out on any of these video lectures or series. I want to say you are missing out. Also, I'll advise you go back. Check up on our webpage, on our YouTube channel, previous lecture series on these highlights that I've mentioned. Today's class, we'll be looking at the DCF method. DCF means discounted cash flow method. Discounted cash flow, what does the terminology mean? There's nothing special about it. It's just a cash flow that has actually been adjusted. A cash flow that have been discounted. A cash flow that have actually taken into cognizance some allowances for time value of money. So, in other words, we could say, discounted cash flow method use cash flows and automatically make allowance for time value of money. So, DCF methods, any DCF method we did be looking at, definitely must actually make use of cash flow. Don't forget, when we are looking at accounting rate of return, we say that investment appraisal technique, accounting rate of return, makes use of accounting profit as against cash flow. But this deficiency is not in DCF methods, because all DCF methods are expected to adopt, to utilize, to make use of only cash flows and automatically to make allowance for time value of money. So, what are the different discounted cash flow methods we have? So, now we will be looking at the different and various DCF methods we have. Financially speaking, and in regard to the discipline of financial management, there are different DCF methods, especially in advanced levels. But for the purpose of this class, for ATS level, ATS 3 in ICANN in Nigeria, or PM, performance management in skills level, that's in the professional levels of ICANN, or in ACCA, either in performance management or advanced PM or advanced PM. There are basically 3 DCF methods we did be looking at. 1, net present value, NPV. 2, profitability index, PI. 3. Internal rate of return. So, what are the different discounted cash flow methods we have? So, now we will be looking at the different and various DCF methods we have. Financially speaking, and in regard to the discipline of financial management, there are different DCF methods, especially in advanced levels. But for the purpose of this class, for ATS level, ATS 3 in ICANN in Nigeria, or PM, performance management in skills level, that's in the professional levels of ICANN, or in ACCA, either in performance management or advanced PM, the different methods of investment of discounted cash flow investment appraisal technique. According to what I mentioned earlier on, these include the net present value NPV, the internal rate of return IRR, and the PI, profitability index. For the purpose of this level, actually, there are some other advanced, but we will not be looking at that for now. So, let's take a study on the concept of net present value. Let's look at net present value in details as a subset of discounted cash flow technique. The net present value method involves calculating the present values of expected cash inflows and outflows through the process of discounting. Notice that. Through the process of discounting and establishing whether in total the present value of cash inflows is higher than the present value of cash outflows. That seems ambiguous, right? Let me break it down. Now, I once told us, in every definition, endeavor to always take cognizance and look out for technicalities or technical jargons that are in the definitions. Words like discounting, words like comparison of present value of inflow and present value of outflows are technical words that must not be missing either in your definition or in your application of NPV under the exam condition. So, now talking of NPV is actually a process, or it's a calculative procedure that involves calculating the present value of expected cash inflow and outflow. And how do we get this present value? Through the process called discounting. If you still remember, in basic and fundamental financial management, there's what we call compounding and discounting. Discounting is something like there's a value that is given in future period. For example, we are in year 0. The question stipulates the inflow that we expect in year 1, in year 2, in year 3, in year 4. All these periods are actually future period because we've not gotten to those years. We are still in year 0. Don't forget, I said before we actually embark on the project, at that year 0, we must evaluate that investment. That's what makes it an investment appraisal. So, at year 0, we can only estimate an expected inflows for subsequent years. These subsequent years are actually future years. So, any value accorded to those years are future values. So, the process of bringing future values down or bringing it back to present value is what we call the discounting process. Now, I need you to note something. In other words, the process of bringing a present value Are we getting it? Of looking at what will this present value gives us by the time we get to a future value. That is, bringing present value to a future value, we use a process we call compounding process. So, two things. To bring from future value, FV, to present value, PV, we use the discounting process. While to bring from present value to take it to the future value, PV to FV, we use what we call the compounding process. This will bring your knowledge down to what we call the simple interest and the compound interest. If you still remember the compound interest, that's what the compounding process entails. But in NPV, since the method, the approach is domiciled on net present value, on present value, we are not concerned with compounding. Rather, we are concerned with discounting. So, obviously or invariably, definitely any amount given in the future when discounted back to the present period is going to bring about a reduction in that value. So, by the time we are looking at the analytics and workings, we'll actually be able to understand this. I'll just implore you, don't miss our subsequent lecture series.